7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought.
Tai Lopez, everyone. Hey, it's Christian Martin. You know what's fascinating is the gargantuan rise of Tai Lopez, a person who made a name for himself in the marketing and entrepreneur space almost instantly. I can remember when his first few videos about reading a book a day came out, thinking people are never gonna follow this guy. And a couple of years later, I was very wrong. It's hard now to find someone who doesn't know who Tai is. With so many business and marketing gurus out there, you'd think that it would be harder to do this. So how did he do it? Just like a lot of other business and marketing gurus, Tai's done the TEDx talk, he's done television, he flaunts his wealth, he has millions of subscribers on YouTube, and he's respected by all the other famous gurus like Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. Yet if you don't know, Tai is the guru that everyone loves to hate. His notoriety is actually very similar to another internet sensation that's been around for more than a decade. I'm talking about the massive hate towards Canadian rock band Nickelback. Nickelback is so hated that in 2016, cops threatened to play Nickelback on the way to jail as punishment if you got caught drinking and driving. So why the comparison? Well, Tai seems like he's a nice guy, but he's not perfect. He's a mix of marketing genius and tactless public perception. But why is Tai Lopez so ridiculed online? I'm Christian Martin, and in this video, I'll be doing a deep dive on how Tai Lopez became the Nickelback of the marketing world. Let's find out if the hate is nothing more than internet fun, or if there's legitimate criticisms about Tai that have earned him this extreme comparison. In order to do that, we have to take it back. We have to take it way back to a time where Netflix and chill was still a thing. People sympathize with a pizza rat trying to feed his adopted turtle family, and when this dress was definitely black and blue. In 2015, Tai Lopez came onto the scene by sharing his love of knowledge over Lambos. This exposure came from an aggressively successful ad campaign that brought him instant fame and attention. During the ad's full run, Tai received over 600 million views, according to him, and he spent an estimate of about $16 to $30 million on YouTube ads alone. That's crazy. This is Nickelback levels of what many call overexposure. Nickelback's hit song, How You Remind Me, was named the #1 most played song on US radio of the 2000s decade by Nielsen SoundScan and Billboard. It was played over 1.2 million times on US airwaves since its release in 2001 until the end of 2009, but the song has been played at least 270 million times on Spotify alone. The song was named 4th on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs of the Decade. 10 years of the same song over and over again, and people are still listening to it. Now with Tai Lopez, you couldn't watch a single YouTube video without being bombarded by him. In fact, even when you were watching a Tai Lopez YouTube video, you were getting hit with the Lambo ad beforehand. He was buying up so much inventory, he was advertising in his own videos.
Huh? There's an ad for Tai Lopez. I don't mind supporting the channel. Hey, it's just 3 of the same ad, 4 ads of the same guy.
Website, okay, video, see videos like Conrad Hilton, and started to see.
Like Nickelback, Tai outplayed himself. His ads got so big that it became annoying as hell. In the age of multi-channel advertising, it's tempting to corner your audience and just bombard them constantly to build awareness. Do you remember the Minions? Of course you do, because they were on your TV, they were on your phone, on movie promos, your bananas, on buses, or the millions of kids dressing up as Minions for Halloween. They even got their own movie. Eventually though, people have had enough. Instead of building curiosity, excitement, and anticipation for his product, Tai eventually became a nuisance, much like Nickelback. But with all this overexposure, maybe you're thinking that what he's selling is truly innovative and new, and that's why so many people are paying attention. Well, this is the strange part. Not really. Which brings me to my next point. Unoriginality. I'm not a music expert, but in his article, Why Did People Hate Nickelback So Much?, Stephen Thompson, a music columnist for NPR, wrote several possible reasons why Nickelback is so hated. Thompson believes that because Nickelback is the umpteenth generation copy of post-grunge, dispensed with urgent Creed-esque self-importance, that they built a reputation as being unoriginal and too formulaic. But just like their contemporaries, this isn't uncommon. Bands like Stained, Puddle of Mudd, and Creed had the same sound, but Nickelback gets the most hate because they overstayed their welcome, especially when the post-grunge genre was losing popularity. So how does Tai Lopez fit into this? Well, I think Gary Vaynerchuk said it best when he said,
now, what's interesting about readers like yourself, contextualizing communicating it, consuming it, and regurgitating into new packages, that's the holy grail. You're gonna live on that.
Tai Lopez is a master regurgitator. He's known for reading a book a day, which makes sense by how many people he quotes. Almost every interview you watch of Tai, he's quoting other successful people.
There's a great book called The Self-Made Billionaire Effect. Like Elon Musk said, Warren Buffett says, if you have over 130 IQ, you could told me, he said, I've always, and Nietzsche, the philosopher, said the same thing you're saying.
If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winner, he said, you know, if you make less than 72 grand, there's a good one called Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt, that he didn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. I got that from Bill Gates. Bill Gates built Microsoft. The great philosopher, I think it was Aristotle or Socrates, said, this is what Charlie Munger says. This guy named Dr. David Buss. If you want to read a book that will blow your mind, it's his textbook called Evolutionary Psychology by Dr. David Buss. You have to look at the imminent dead. Like, you have to use books. Born Stoic and die Epicurean. Discipline brings freedom. There's more freedom from discipline.
Now, that's not to say that other gurus don't do this, but this is a glaring habit that Tai Lopez does almost every time he speaks. He's constantly name dropping over and over. This is also a criticism of his course, the 67 steps to getting anything you want. There are dozens of reviews that describe the course as practical, but it pulls heavily from self-help books, like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and The Power of Habit. This goes on and on.
Steps, because all this information is really available already anyway. It's, you know, he's basically rehashing every self-help book ever written and combining it all together and taking out the good points of what he read in those books and converting it into his 67 steps, you know, like...
These are classic self-help books that anybody can pick up and read. But Tai was able to take the best points from these books and he repackaged it to make it his own, just like what Nickelback did. Now, I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing. People consume content differently, and Tai Lopez is making these classic books accessible in video form, the way that Nickelback made the post-grunge sound more entertaining for the masses. Now, Tai's great at leveraging existing ideas, and he found an opportunity to modernize the classics for a new audience, which is pretty cool. Why do you think Hollywood produces so many remakes? People like old things communicated in a new way. Now, at this point, Nickelback and Tai Lopez have achieved an amazing online status that not a lot of successful people are able to obtain. It's the living meme status. Now, love them or hate them, you've made it when you've become a living meme. It's the Hall of Fame for internet meme culture. Your legacy lives on as a living meme with your face reaching the far corners of the internet. Just look at Kevin Hart, for example. Before he made it big as an international superstar, he was already successfully selling out shows and stand-up specials. But his internet memes skyrocketed his popularity and demand. So what does this say about Tai Lopez and Nickelback? They're still extremely successful. Even after all the hate and the ridicule and the backlash on the internet and in real life, they have made a name for themselves, and it shows. Tai Lopez is respected in the entrepreneur guru community, and he's even well-liked by celebrities. He's earned the admiration of millions, and he's built his fortune by hustling hard and working very smart. And as for Nickelback, I'll just let Deadpool explain.
50 million albums worldwide, 11th best-selling musical act of all time, Billboard's most successful rock group of the last decade, 6 Grammy nominations, 12 Juno Awards, those count, 6 Billboard Music Awards, 2 American Music Awards, 1 People's Choice Award, Canadian, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Here's the thing you have to realize. Haters can be a very good thing. You're doing something right when people out there recognize you and they shit on your success. If you ever want to be successful, you're gonna have haters. But haters can actually give you an advantage. As Cat Williams says, if you've got 14 haters now, you've got to get 16 before the summer. In order to be loved, you have to be hated. Chances are, if nobody hates you, then you don't have a strong fan base either. It has been said that the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. And being indifferent is the worst reaction that you can get as a marketer. Now, haters can be motivation to prove people wrong. They can drive you to work harder, produce more, and get better results for your clients. And with enough doubters, you can frame yourself as the underdog, and nobody wants to come after the underdog. With the amount of hate there is out there for Nickelback and Tai Lopez, there's a strong fan base of supporters who are rooting for them. Now, haters also give you an opportunity to show humanity and grace. Tai Lopez and Nickelback take criticism on the chin, and they can laugh it off.
I would rather stab myself in the taint than hear another Nickelback song. That's funny. That's how we make Nickelback songs.
This kid said, oh, what Ty's doing won't work for everybody. Well, Harvard works, but it won't work for the vast majority of us. What about everyone else who gets left behind?
We just leaving you behind because you can't get into Ivy League school? No. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to do something about it. It's free country. Reddit, this guy can say what he wants. He's entitled to his opinion, but don't mean he's right.
Tai actually has an amazing ability to be unreactive to haters, and it makes us like him all the more. They both understand that they're not going to win everyone over, that maybe the critics just don't understand the journey they had to take to succeed and get where they are now. So yes, Tai Lopez is the Nickelback of the marketing world, but good for him. As marketers, it's important to look at someone like Tai Lopez, both for the things we don't like about him, but also as a case study for success, because he has done a lot of things right. There is something to be learned from someone who has 600 million views on one ad. That's crazy. That's more than a Super Bowl ad. Now, people might be turned off by Tai Lopez's tactics because he flaunts private jets, Lambos, and Instagram models. He perpetuates the image that wealth and materialism are the only indicators of success. But if you watch through his videos, and trust me, I've watched a lot, Tai's actually quite unassuming. He has a great underlying message about success and learning to earn more, and he genuinely wants to help people live a better life, even if he does it using pretty women twirling their hair to keep you watching. That's all for this week, but I have to tell you, it was a lot of fun dropping all this
Knowledge.
What are your thoughts on Tai Lopez? Leave a comment down below because I'd love to discuss this more. I want to know, do you think Tai Lopez is the Nickelback of the marketing world? Check out a new training I put together for you at blockbustercourses.com/YouTube. Go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel now because I know you're going to love what's coming next, and I'll see you on the next video.